The Contra Anniversary Collection was stealth dropped at Nintendo's E3 and is very similar to the Castlevania collection in the way that, it's a Konami collection game for its anniversary. However, this has 10 games instead of 8. Is this collection good? Or is it not good? Or is it just bad? Well, find out on my Contra Anniversary Collection review. But before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, and leave a comment, and you'll be a loyal subscriber. Of course, what makes a collection game is, of course, the games. There are 10 games in this collection, those 10 being the Arcade Contra, Super Contra, the NES Contra, the Famicom Contra, Super C, Contra 3, Super Probotector Alien Rebels, which is the European version of Contra 3, Operation C, Contra Hard Corps, and Probotector, which is the European version of Contra Hard Corps. I won't do what I did for my Castlevania collection review, but I'll talk about each of these games quickly. The arcade version of Contra is honestly a little weird. Yes, it's an arcade game, but that translates weirdly on the TV or on the Switch, if you're playing it on the Switch, with the vertical game. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but the game just won't start. And specifically this game in the collection won't start for me. So I can't even really say that much. Super Contra at least started for me. It's a fine game, nothing really to write home about. I still find the verticality to be rather distracting though. The NES Contra is and always will be an absolute classic. One of the best NES games and one of the best Konami games. Contra is really hard to play, but there's a little code that can help you. Anyways, the difficulty is part of its charm. Then we have the Famicom Contra, which I feel is just way too similar to even Beyond this thing as its own thing. Then we have Super C, the sequel to Contra, where the format of the game seems to be a very different one, but is still fun nonetheless. Maybe not as good as the first Contra, but maybe just as difficult. Contra 3 The Alien Wars is another great game, one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, and things are a bit different this time. There are different enemies and threats in this game this time around, along with a different and at the same time pretty cool layout. It's still very difficult now, especially since there's no Konami code this time. Next we have Super Probotector Alien Rebels. Probotector is the name of Contra in Europe, and this is basically the same thing as Contra 3. The only difference this time is that you control a different character. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Now we have Operation C, which is the Game Boy game. Unlike the Castlevania Game Boy games, I find Operation C to be a very pretty fun game to play. It's still just as hard though. Not much more to say about it. Now we have Contra Hard Corps, where you can play as a man, a woman, a wolf, or a little robot. This game is also difficult. It even has hard in the title, as there are a lot of different enemies coming at you from behind, on top, and in front at once, and it's so satisfying when you kill them because they explode. Oh yeah, be prepared to see a lot of explosions in this one. Next, we have Probotector, which is the European version of Contra Hard Corps. And just like Alien Rebels, the only difference is the characters you play as. And even then, it's just a robotic version of each character. I think you've noticed a running theme here, and that's all these games are pretty hard. We talked about the games themselves, but not how good their placement on here are. In other words, the variety of games. I'm just gonna say this. The NES Contra, Super C, Contra 3, Operation C, and Contra Hard Course belong here. The arcade versions are cool too, though they are inferior. Still, it's cool to have these arcade games on here. I always think that's pretty cool. However, the Famicom version of Contra and the two Probotector games just seem like filler to me. Here's what I would have done. I would have taken out the two Probotector games as well as the Famicom version of Contra and replaced it with Contra 4 on the DS. I'm not saying those versions are bad in any way, but they aren't that different to the point to be allowed to take their own spots in a celebration of Contra. The other games absolutely do belong here, though. Aside from a few games that just feel extra to me, the Contra Anniversary Collection might not be as good as the Castlevania Collection, but is still an excellent collection, and its excellence cannot be denied. If you love Contra, stop sleeping on this game like how most people are right now, and give it a go. In conclusion, the Contra Anniversary Collection gets an 8 out of 10. A solid 8 out of 10. Well, that'll be it for this video, this review. What do you think about this game? Do you even have it? I have heard like no one talk about this game at all. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or not. Be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.